this is recording.
Okay, so the word is for Diogenes.
Let's go.
Okay. Go ahead, buddy.
So, what's up, everybody, and welcome to our first live stream in English. I'm your host, Diogenes. As my good friend Gorilla introduced me, I'm an ICT charter. I was in TCM private group, if you know guys about the currency merchant, and I was also with my good friend Hope Plaka's group. I was also there. So I started like DTFX for like 6 months now. So I have I accumulated some mileage now, and I know lots of stuff now. Thanks to everybody's sharing and thanks to the great community. So I also studied lots of PAX materials. So thanks to him and thanks to Mark, the guy from Omaha, for his great Discord, which was like great learning experience. And thanks also to my bro Gorilla, who is like sharing lots of free stuff in his Twitter and now in this very, very, very great like Discord. So I'm also like max funded with Top Step and max funded with ETF, Elite Trading Funds. But unfortunately, we don't have like Apex here in Morocco, so I can't get funded with them. So enough speaking about myself. I'm gonna try to recap the trades I took today, and I'll try to answer most of you guys' questions later and about my model, which is not very different from Gorilla's model. At the end, we all trade somehow the same thing with some nuances. So yeah, let's go. So for today, I woke up at exactly somewhere here, and I checked what the price was doing. Okay, so I saw that we were in this huge range from here to here, but we were like making swings. We were making our swings up. So I went to the 12 minute. Okay. I went to the 12 minute and I saw where's this zone. I saw this valid zone here, and I was like, okay, let's see what will happen. Okay, so then here was the 12 minute. So when I see wherever I find the zone, I see where like the valid low happened, and it was here. Okay, so this was like the valid low on M12. Okay, and then went to M1, which is like my favorite time frame. So what I saw is like the valid low on the M12 was nothing but the move origin of this huge M1 zone, because we were like making our swings. So this was our origin of the move, which was also the valid low on M12. Okay, so I saw that price left this zone with like displacement, like huge displacement, and where I was interested at the charts, I was here. So I waited for the price like to retrace to the 50% of the zone, of the huge zone, and do something here, or the price can go back to the origin of the move and do something here. All right. So here, this is exactly what my friend Gorilla always shared, and it's like his one life setup. this one setup for life. So what happened is I was waiting for price to do something or react here before I take any trade. You guys you can do two things. You can either take the 1-to-1 blindly without any confirmation, and you will still win. You will still have a good win rate, or you are a coke addict like us and try to learn like crazy stuff. So for this model, so here price came and did a valid low on M1. So this valid low on M1 means that on the second charts we created a breaker. Okay, so if you know guys, a lot of guys just when they see a candle gets engulfed like this, they just take the trade and they put their stop under the last candle and they wish price will go. Okay, the thing is, when they make the first valid low, all right, they created a bunch of liquidity here, so they can exchange their positions while other traders are getting shafted. Okay, so we are always like interested in the second flip. All right, so this was our first flip. Okay, we never take that. We never take. All right, let me please change this settings. Right. Okay, so this was our first flip, right? So we don't take this flip and we wait for the second flip. Okay, so when this flip happens, as you guys know, so this is a swing failure pattern. So we never closed under this low, but we wicked. Okay, so when you see this and the flip after, you can wait for the price to tap this and take you in the trade. Sometimes they will come to the 50%, but a lot of times they won't. Why? In this case, here I was interested in this volume imbalance here. That was the cause that made the price stop here. And here the volume of this order block stopped the price here. So I usually, in this case, like to enter at the volume imbalance, put my stop at the lows, and I was targeting this candle here because it was unmitigated. So I was thinking that it will make price go back a little before going up, but they just went up. Okay, so that was the first trade, and if you guys see, this is the model you're always asking about, where this is the first flip and this is the second flip. This is MSS, and we go back to the unmitigated flip and up we go. All right, so then I closed this trade here and I was looking at the charts. All right, and when we were here, I had like this sudden revelation and I was like, what if I go to the H1 and see what's happening? When I went to the H1, there was this. I need to delete all of this. Sorry. So I saw we were doing this on the H1, all right? Okay. And we broke structure here, all right? And this was the origin of the move, like that, just like that. All right. So this was the origin of the move, and price was somehow at the 50%. All right. So I dropped back down to the 12 minute. All right. And I waited for a valid high to be put on the 12 minute. So on the 12 minute, this was the last up closing candle. So I waited for the price to just close under it, like that. All right. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Sorry. All right. So I waited for the price.
Everything's fine.
Cool. I waited for the price to close under it, under this green candle, right? And I went back to M1. Now this, what I'm about to share with you guys is like something I just found out like lately, and this is a crazy good model. All right. So when any valid high or valid low happens on M12, you just drop to M1 and see what's happening, like structure wise. All right. So I saw that we were like doing this, and here we failed to close. This was a swing failure pattern. So I saw that this was our last zone. All right. I know there is a lot of another guys trading DTFX stuff that can say that this was the last zone, but I don't like to use it because they like to chop and double chop it a lot. While if you choose this as the last zone, it will be easier for you to know what's happening. So here was the moment when the 12 minutes valid low happened. And it was the moment also when we closed under this zone and validated this high as protected. And everything happened in like 50% of the hourly origin, right? So everything is here. We can't, if the 50% of this hourly origin wasn't here, I wouldn't trust this small close under this zone. I would think that this was something like a wick and we were still going up. All right. So everything in it's like confluence. So what do you do when price validates a zone after the 12 minute valid high? So I just went and was waiting for liquidity to be swept, and this high was very I liked it a lot to be taken first, this. And another thing I love, this volume imbalance was here. It was unmitigated. All right. So I waited for price. I just waited for price to make a valid high or a flip here, because this was something like model 2. So this was the sweep, and we can just trust a flip here. All right. So price flip it here in one candle. The same candle took buy side liquidity, and the other end took the sell side liquidity, which make it a flip candle or a dealing range. If you guys are pretty like familiar with ICT, when we take buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity, you sell at 50%, which is like the same concept as the flip. All right. So I just entered here, put my stop just above it, and I targeted this liquidity, just this, so it was, I made like 4 hours on this trade, and I didn't trust this unmitigated origin here, I thought they will still come and sweep here before going lower. So but normally, if I trusted it, normally the target was the 50% of this range. And I know a lot of guys that took profits here, but I didn't trust it. I didn't trust this unmitigated zone they left, right? So after this trade, I was done with London, right? I was like pretty upset. I didn't participate in all of this, but I made good chunk of money here and here, so I wasn't that bad neither, you know. So then I didn't touch this. I knew we were ranging, all right. So this was like here. We were in bottom of the range, top of the range, and we were just playing here. And I didn't touch it. Normally, I normally trade those ping pongs after wick a high, flip, take a long, wick a high, flip, take a short, you know, those kinds of ideas. But I didn't take any. I didn't like it, you know. So come market open here at 9:30. So I saw that we did a fake move to the upside and then we dropped. So for me, we validated this zone, all right? This. And I saw that when we closed under it, we came back to the SNDR, all right? So this was also a flip zone. So this was something like this supply, the last demand. We did a reaction and then we broke that demand, which make this order block a supply zone. All right. So you can just short here. You can always do that because it's like it has a lot of it has a good percentage. You can go for a 1-to-1 at least, you know, if you don't have a higher time frame target. All right. So I didn't take this. I was still waiting. I didn't take this. I was still waiting, and at the same time, I had like a discussion with my good friend here, Lala. So when price was coming back, I never trade back to the zones because you never trust how far the pullback can go. They can do this, and then drop and take your stop loss here or something. They're not like they're not obliged to come back here and give you the 50% trade or whatsoever. They can still just drop. So I never take the trades going back to the zones, all right? Or they can still come here, sweep everything, and then come back to the zones. So guys, if I have like a advice to give you all is like never trade back to the zones. Just wait for your high probability model, all right? In the zones. So no zone, no trade. Okay, so here I like this very much. So if you drop in the M1, it's not a zone because there was no valid low or valid high. All right, but we closed under it with displacement, which is something I really love. And so if you go to the M15 or 15 seconds, sorry, where is it? Yeah, here it is. So in the 15 seconds, it's actually a valid zone, and price closed under it with displacement. All right. Okay. So when this happened, when we close under a valid zone with displacement, and following also my good friend Mark's model, I trust it. I trust the stupid one-to-one model here. I always take it because it's always work, even if it's counter-trained. Because uh, central banks or whatever who is manipulating the price, they did it with huge intentions. So they have lots of positions left here unmitigated. So they usually mitigate them by doing so, giving you the one-to-one, and then killing the guys if they want to go in like different sense, if you want to go long. So that was another like simple trade. All right. So when price went back here, all right, I again went to the 12 minute just to see what happened. All right. So when I looked at the 12 minute, in the M1, we talking about this like this zone, this whole zone, all right? But before taking any trades on it, I went to the M12 and I saw, I will clean this for you guys. So I saw that the zone on M1 was not a structural zone on M12. So I was pretty bullish because I knew that we were at least taking this high or sweeping it, all right? So I didn't trust this zone that much. Or if I take a trade, I will go maximum for the one-to-one, all right? So I went back to the M1, all right? And there was the gorilla model again. So we take this internal or intermediate term high, all right? We flip once and we flip twice. So this was my short, right? And target was the one-to-one of the zone. I don't know what happened, but I trade in top step, and in top step short it hit my TP, right? So then I was still bullish here, all right? I knew price was going higher, and we were looking with Lala again. We were looking at the 15 seconds, right? Here, we were looking at the 15 seconds. So price after delivering the one-to-one, all right, we flipped. So this was my zone on M15, and I was pretty sure price was going higher. So again, guys, narrative first, all right? All the trades won't work without a good narrative, all right? So here is again the model, right? So we do this, all right? We flip. So we make a fake flip first and then a second flip. And this second flip is like, it has something very special. And I will show it to you. So this flip this was a stop hunt leg. So we stop hunted this low, and this stop hunt leg had this FVG and volume imbalance, right? So this flip, it's not a normal flip, but we also inverted all of those PD arrays, you know? So when this happens, you don't wait for the price to come back to the 50% of the flip. All right? It will never come back here. Why? Because the inverted fair value gap will hold the price. So you just enter at 50% or just enter aggressively here, right? And just target the next high. Don't be greedy. Even if I knew like the price was going at least to sweep that zone, I never actually hold trades this long. Why? Again, because I know we have unmitigated areas like this. So this 50% could have held price to the more downside. So you pay yourself, and you move. All right. All right. So here again, after this happened, I looked at the 12-minute, right? I was looking at the 12-minute, and I saw that we wicked this zone. All right. So I was thinking bearish stuff, right? I went to the M1. Okay, cool. I went to the M1. And then I saw this internal flip. This. Now, granted, the real flip normally happens here after we take this. But sometimes, if you watch guys videos from Dave, sometimes when we take the SNDR, it's like an early indication of flips. All right. So what did I do? Simple stuff, right? So this was the zone because we made a gap here. So the high of the zone was this, right? Okay. And I took the stupid 1-to-1, right? I still covered this high, okay? And I went for the 1-to-1. So that's another 1-to-1, okay? And after again, when they took this another time, when they took again this high, all right, and they flipped again. I was driving my car at the time, but I saw that setup and I didn't take it, unfortunately. I was about to take it to the 50% because we closed above this, and I was taking it to the 50%, but I didn't have time to enter. All right. And I think we arrived to my last trade, okay, which was here. So here, let me clean this up for you guys. So here we took this fractal high and we made a valid high on M12, all right? So the same model I'm always talking to you guys about. When a valid high happens on M12, you just go to M1 and try to make a sense of it, all right? What's happening? Where did it happen? Well, so this is where our 12-minute valid high happened, all right? So I think it happened something around here, and I just went to the charts and looked. What can I do? So I saw something, and really important, that always indicates like reversals. I love to use, and it's SMT. SMT. It was an SMT with what's its name again? ES. Yeah, we had SMT with ES at those highs, right? So I missed this trade. I missed this trade, yeah, and I was on the hunt somewhere here for a trade, right? So what did I do? So I was interested in something coming back in here for me to accept risk. I wanted price to come to this at least, right? This inverse here. So which is also at the same place as the 50% of the whole zone, right? But price never came actually up. Instead of this, they made a valid low and they made a valid high. So what did I do? I just entered blindly because I was thinking like I was gonna I was like gonna miss the trade, all right? And I targeted this liquidity, all right? It was also a one-to-one, right? Never greedy, never be greedy, because look, I have the narrative right, but they can still play with you before moving, right? And also, yeah, there's also, I know you guys don't believe in time following DTFX stuff, but this is actually something really strong that happens like every day at 1:30 p.m. So here. So what happens is like price usually takes some liquidity that was built in lunchtime, and then they go for their real move, which is what happened while we were talking on the stream. I was interested in taking it, but I was done for the day. So yeah, how to take it again? Same thing. I can give you like crazy entry methods, but the easiest for you guys is like to wait for a valid high again on M12 here. Here's the candle, right? And go back to M1. Go back to M1 and try to make sense of it, all right? So again, how do you take it? It's like price was doing this, okay? Okay, and then we closed. So you can blindly sell at 50%, but there is also this order block, which is also a flip zone from this demand. So this was the demand in question, right? We reacted, we created a flip zone, okay? So price took it by a bit because we had this like fair value gap, all right? We had this FVG. So I don't have something for FVGs anymore, okay? So when you see like a flip zone or something like that, just wait for a actual valid low to occur on M1 first, okay, before trading, which will happen here, okay? So the moment we close under this, they just touch it because there was also this flip zone, another one. Did you guys see it? And yeah, rest is history, you know, the real move for the day. Wow. And you can target low of the day. You can target low of the day because we were still in the daily PO3. So this is another thing you can guys may learn or wait that can help you with the narrative. So this was Asia, right? From 20 to New York midnight, all right? So this was a classic sell day. So we go and we trade above like Asia. We take also some liquidity left from previous days highs, all right? And then this is the real break of structure, all right, that happened. We go back to mitigate this zone, right? And then we fall, right? Okay. So this was it for me today. It will be like a small stream because I have stuff to do. So if you guys have one question or two before I go, be my guest. All right. Do you have guys any question?
Hello guys. So Gorilla speaking here. First of all, I want to thank deeply my friend Diogenes for this
You're welcome.
valuable live stream.
You're very welcome, bro.
Lots of gems were thrown freely today, and
Indeed.
I'm really glad to have you here, my friend, and to see this valuable content that we are creating here. I hope that everybody were listening and were benefiting from this live stream. That we will be recording, and we will surely get back to this live stream many times, because it gives a lot of valuable things, lot of basic things, advanced things, and also of answers to lots of important questions. So thanks again, my friend Diogenes. And if anybody has a question or so,
Yeah.
maybe
I
ask.
may have a question if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. Shoot it, man.
So, when you're looking for a valid high on the 12 minutes,
Okay.
I mean, you're looking on a valid high or low within a zone. That's it?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, I got it now. So, it's basically an engulfing candle within a zone.
Exactly.
And then you switch on to the 1 minute. All right, man. You rock. Thank you.
Yeah. So you find your zone of interest, like on H1 or something, or even M12. You wait for price to go back to your 50% or your zone of interest, your POI. The moment you see a valid high or low, go for the hunt. Go down to the M1 and steal your 1-to-1 and be good, you know? They will at least give the 1-to-1. So don't be afraid to take it when it's there.
Okay.
Cool.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah, hello. Can I ask a question?
For sure, man. Sure.
You talk about gap in the high.
What
if,
did
if there is a gap, it's not count as a high. Gap between candles.
Can you please give me like a minute or something? What are you talking about?
You talk about candle
okay,
gap.
okay. Yeah, I remember what I was talking about. Yeah. So we were talking about here, right?
Yeah.
So actually, this I learned from back. And so when this happened, the valid high is here, not here, because this was not a continuation of this candle. All right. As you see, price stopped at this 50%. All right. You could have taken this also, but a lot of times price stop here and never go to the other 50%. But when it happens, I still always cover the wick. I never get greedy and place my SL here. But as you see, it worked. They respected it and they gave like the 1-to-1, right? If considering both zones. All right, Gucci.
Yeah. Thank you.
I will try to find you. I will try and ask also my friend Yahya. He will try to find you the video that explains this. All right, because it's quite
please.
it's quite a lot of it's quite a long video in which back goes over nuances for valid high and lows. All right.
So is there a difference if the gap was down or up?
Yeah, exactly. If the gap was up, I would take this. All right.
Even if it's not body closure above the wick.
Even if there is no body closure above the wick, but I'd still validate the low here. All right. I'd still wait for the lower candle. It's just about the zone. It's just about the zone, right?
I do understand, but if it's low, it's the same.
If there is no gap.
If there's no gap.
If there is no gap, I treat it like the gap down. So I'd still come here. All right.
Okay.
There is only 3 scenarios. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions before I go, guys? I still have like 3 minutes. Cool.
Thank you.
I think.
Okay, thank you guys for joining, and I'll be sending you the recording ASAP. And good luck and good trading. Ciao.
Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
Thank
guys.
you.
You're
Very
welcome.
nice.